Bungie fully revealed their upcoming expansion, The Edge of Fate, and have all but confirmed that this expansion will be a refresh to the looter side of their looter shooter game, Destiny 2, through the introduction of our first armor system refresh since Shadowkeep, and a 5-tier loot system that will see our current top tier weapons sitting squarely in the middle at tier 3. Bungie has proven they are striving to bring back the loot chase to Destiny. In my last video, I outlined 3 key areas that returning players should prioritize to prepare for the Edge of Fate. Today, I want to talk about the best PvE weapons that have dropped since the final shape release, so you can keep an eye out for them as you continue to prepare for the next saga of Destiny. Now, I can already hear some of you asking, Sax, why would I grind for weapons that I'm going to replace in a few months in the new loot system? My answer to that is twofold. First, we still need good loot for the legendary campaign in Day 1 raid. That raid drops only 4 days after the expansion's release. Secondly, it typically takes Bungie 4 to 5 seasons to get a full suite of meta-relevant weapons in each slot and weapon archetype. I agree with those who intend to move their arsenal fully to the new system, but this will likely be a process that takes months, not days. So here's how I'm going to break it down. I'll discuss these weapons based on the source where you can obtain them, and I'll give a brief breakdown of roles to look out for. Let's discuss in the comments section or my community Discord if you think my god roll selection is on point or straight garbage. Let's start with the weapons that are available through the various playlist vendors. First up are Vanguard weapons, of which there are quite a few notable weapons to look out for. Let's start with 3-strand heavy weapons that have impressive synergy with the Prismatic Kit. First is Scintillation, a 3-round burst linear fusion rifle. The god rolls on this weapon that stand out to me are auto-loading holster plus bait and switch, or rewind rounds plus firing line. Second, we have Cynosure, an adaptive frame rocket launcher with god rolls such as Envious Arsenal plus elemental honing, and reconstruction and explosive light. Rounding out our Vanguard heavy weapons, we have the return of Wicked Sister, a newly strand adaptive grenade launcher. Be on the lookout for rolls such as Envious Arsenal and bait and switch, or auto-loading holster plus explosive light. Next, let's talk about 2 exceptional special weapons to fill the kinetic and energy slots. First, we have Rake Angle, the first stasis glaive providing Guardians the chance to free up their energy slot while still running around with a cool stick they found. Look out for rolls such as Lead from Gold plus Chill Clip, or Overflow and Surrounded. Second, we have Lotus-Eater, the first Void Rocket Sidearm. Notable rolls on this weapon are Repulsor Brace destabilizing rounds, or Reconstruction 1-for-all. Now let's move on to talk about a couple of Gambit weapons. First up is the returning Bygones adaptive frame pulse rifle, which feels as good as ever and can roll with updated perks such as Subsistence plus Firefly, or Shoot to Loot and Kinetic Tremors. The second Gambit weapon to look for is the reprised Solar Precision Frame Bow, Hush. Be on the lookout for some of these insane rolls such as Archer's Tempo and Archer's Gambit, Hipfire Grip, Archer's Gambit, or Offhand Strike, Archer's Gambit. There are 2 top-tier PvE weapons to look out for from the Crucible. First is the Joxer's Longsword, which can be focused directly from Lord Shaxx. This Void 2-round heavy burst pulse rifle can drop with rolls such as Repulsor Brace Demoralize, Dragonfly Destabilizing rounds, or Rewind rounds 1-for-all. Second is the Stasis Rocket Sidearm Tinasha's Mastery, which comes from Lord Saladin during Iron Banner. You'll want to pick up a roll with Chill Clip in the second column, and either Air Trigger, Impulse Amplifier, or Loose Change in the first for various effects. Next, let's move on to weapons that you want to look out from episodic content. But before we do that, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this weapon breakdown. What Episode Echoes lacked in story cohesion and gameplay loot, they delivered in full force with weapons to chase from the season. With a combination of beautiful Vex Mythoclast styled weapons and some returning fan favorite Season of Dawn weapons, let's break down what you should pursue. Lost Signal was our first area denial frame grenade launcher, aka Legendary Witherhoard. As a stasis weapon, Lost Signal generates darkness transcendent energy like few can. You'll want to pick up a roll with auto-loading holster, 1-for-all, or Lead from Gold Demolitionist. Next, we had the highly anticipated Aberrant Action, which is our first solar rocket sidearm. The GOAT roll here, Heal Clip plus Incandescent. Full stop, just get this. As a Titan main, I think all of the reprisal weapons from this season are worth chasing down due to their awesome origin trait, Cast No Shadows, which states dealing damage with a melee increases your weapon's handling and reloads some ammo back into the gun. The best pairing for this is Perfect Paradox, the kinetic rapid fire frame shotgun. With this, we're intending to go all melee all the time. Roles to chase would be Pugilist plus Swashbuckler, or Threat Detector and 1-2 Punch. Next is Martyr's Retribution, a reprise of the first wave-frame grenade launcher we ever received inside of Destiny across either game. On Marty, you're looking for Incandescent in the second column, and either Auto-Loading, Envious Assassin, or Heal Clip in the first column. With this reprisal, Bungie swapped Breachlight from Kinetic to Strand, providing us with a workhorse 2-round burst sidearm with roles such as Slice plus Hatchling or Demolitionist and Desperate Measures. And the final reprisal weapon we'll discuss today is Patron of Lost Causes. As a lightweight frame scout, this gun doesn't quite hit as hard as something like a Hung Jury, but man does it feel good to shoot. Be on the lookout for Rapid Hit plus Explosive Payload or Triple Tap Kinetic Tremors. From Episode Revenant, be on the lookout for the bittersweet Arc Adaptive Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher. You'll want Envious Arsenal in the first column, and either Bait and Switch or Explosive Light in the second column. With this episode, we also saw the return of a few Season of the Splicer weapons, so be on the lookout for a Chroma Rush auto rifle with either Subsistence plus Rampage or Feeding Frenzy Kill Clip for that classic auto rifle feel. And rounding out the episodic content, we have weapons that are obtainable from Episode Heresy, starting with the Afterlight Void Adaptive Frame Fusion Rifle. This hard-hitting fusion can drop with some unique perk combinations such as Discord Destabilizing Rounds or Lead from Gold Vorpal. 600 RPM aggressive frame machine guns are in a great place in Episode Heresy, and Watchful Eye is no exception to this. Look out for roles such as Overflow Jolting Feedback or Eddy Current Sword Logic. Division is an instant classic 2-round heavy burst sidearm. Roles I've enjoyed using are Eddy Current Volt Shot or Grave Robber and Swashbuckler. Mirror Imago is the closest thing we've gotten to a kinetic slot Recluse. As a strand weapon, lean into the darkness synergy with roles like Overflow plus Sword Logic or Subsistence and Hatchling. Now, I'm not much of a bow user, and when I do, it's typically either Le Monarch or Trinity Ghoul. But Anamnesis is one of the most well-round, crispiest feeling bows I've ever used in Destiny. Hunt down roles such as Dragonfly plus Destabilizing Rounds or Repulsor Brace Demoralize. The final episodic weapon you should hunt is Psychopomp, the arc energy counterpart to Lost Signal from Episode Echoes. This weapon is a great one to add into a DPS rotation for some additional damage over time. Try to snag either Envious Arsenal plus Elemental Honing for DPS rotations, or Ambitious Assassin plus Rolling Storm for impressive ad clear. Finally, let's dive into some key weapons that come from in-game sources that you should check out, starting with weapons from the reprised raids. Garden of Salvation's weapons desperately needed larger and more meta-relevant perk pools, and Bungie did not disappoint on this front. All weapons saw a glow up, however 2 Void rapid fire frame weapons stand above the rest. The Reckless Oracle 720 RPM auto rifle boasts impressive roles such as Destabilizing Rounds plus Repulsor Brace or Subsistence and One for All. We also have the Zealot's Reward Fusion Rifle with new perks to chase such as Lead from Gold Control Burst or Auto-Loading Reservoir Burst. Next, let's talk Vaulted Glass weapons, all of which would be worth chasing simply due to their new impressive origin trait, Time Lost Magazine, which doubles the magazine for 20 seconds after you cast your super. The reprised weapon to gain the most favor after its rework across the entire year has to be the Hezen Vengeance Solar Aggressive Frame Rocket Launcher. This reworked weapon has been used for some insane damage rotation since its release at the beginning of Episode Heresy. Shout out to all the Guardians who have soloed the Witness this season. Look out for Envious Arsenal, Auto-Loading Holster, or Overflow in the first column, and Bait and Switch or Elemental Honing in the second. Corrective Measure is a powerful void machine gun that can clear rooms of ads with ease with roles like Destabilizing Rounds plus Demoralize, Firefly plus One for All, or Rewind Rounds and Killing Tally. Last for the VOG weapons, we have Praedyth's Revenge, a rapid fire frame sniper that has made its way into long-range DPS loadouts as a solid swap pick. You should look out for a role with Rewind Rounds, Elemental Honing, and Envious Arsenal Bait and Switch. Let's wrap up today's video with a few weapons that you should be eyeing from the most recent dungeon releases. Vesper's host provided us with 2 outstanding grenade launchers, one heavy and one energy. Starting with VS Chill Inhibitor. This stasis rapid fire frame heavy GL can drop with Envious Arsenal in the first column and Bait and Switch or Explosive Light in the second column. Note, if you haven't already picked it up, Banshee should have a God Roll Chill Inhibitor for you to pick up after you complete Vesper's Host at least once. VS Velocity Baton is the last area denial frame that we've received and comes in great flavor. Be on the lookout for Demolitionist plus Attrition Orbs or Bait and Switch. I personally believe all weapons from Sundered Doctrine have desirable roles to chase, so let's break them down. Unsworn is a strand trace rifle that hits harder than its counterparts due to the origin trait Subjugation, which gives each of the Sundered weapons intrinsic explosive payload against red bars along with some other benefits. I've been searching for roles including Shoot to Loot Hatchling, Rewind Rounds, Killing Tally, and Tear Elemental Honing. Unworthy is a rapid-fire arc scout rifle that stands above all other scout rifles, in my humble opinion. Look for roles like Rewind Rounds, Rolling Storm, or Firefly Volt Shot. Unloved is a strand heavy burst hand cannon that fires a 2-round burst that can stagger even the toughest enemies. I found pairings such as Dragonfly Paracausal Affinity or Hatchling Elemental Honing to feel exceptional. And our final legendary weapon for today is the Void Slug Shotgun Unvoiced. Add this to your up-close DPS rotation with perks like Envious Arsenal plus Bait and Switch or Elemental Honing. Real quick, I want to highlight my picks for exotics you don't want to wait for Bungie to bring back to the game. At this point, everyone knows how much I love Episode Echo's exotic mission reward, Choir of One. Just go get this. Put destabilizing rounds on it, I beg you. Alethonym was the Season Pass exotic from Episode Revenant and is unique in a few ways as only the second primary ammo grenade launcher besides Fighting Lion and the second micro-missile grenade launcher besides the Mountaintop. It also has the intrinsic ability to generate special or heavy ammo bricks based on hits with this weapon. Icebreaker's back, baby! Go defeat the Corrupted Puppeteer for an RNG chance at this drop. Barrow-Dyad is the exotic mission reward for Episode Heresy and has impressive stopping power and potential in close-range DPS situations where ammo generation could be an issue. Titans can throw on Storm's Keep, Peacekeepers, and Barrow-Dyad with target lock to turn this weapon into a DPS monster. Finally, New Land Beyond is a reprised version of the Destiny 1 No Land Beyond. As a pre-order bonus for the Edge of Fate, this special ammo sniper rifle is already starting to make waves, as it ramps up its damage significantly depending on the amount of precision hits you can stack up before you die. I hope you found this weapon breakdown informative and can use this as a guide for how to navigate the loot chase as we head into the Edge of Fate. My name is Sax, and until next time, be blessed.